In today's episode, a four-way driver's title will be decided in Abu Dhabi between both our drivers of Oscar Piastri, Kimi Antonelli, and Max Verstappen, and the surprise of Yuki Tsunoda in the Williams Porsche. That comes after a very, very topsy-turvy and exciting episode last time out at the Las Vegas Grand Prix, where it was a wet race and everything that could have happened did happen, and we saw a scenario that I never imagined. I never calculated for it. But Tsunoda won in Vegas. Verstappen out the points with heavy damage. Antonelli completely out of the race with a car failure. And we, driving as Oscar Piastri, managed to bag a P4 in very tricky conditions to get him back into the title fight. But Tsunoda was the biggest winner. He came out of nowhere to lead the championship, level on points with Verstappen, because now Tsunoda, after that third win, has the most wins of any driver in this season. So on level points, he's actually the one that takes the lead going into this final race. Absolutely absurd, because for the last 4 or 5 episodes, I've been banging on about this feels like, between us and Verstappen, both our drivers versus Max. And then the last 2 episodes, it's really just been Antonelli versus Verstappen. I was trying my best to get Piastri back into it, over the course of the Vegas race. Obviously, Antonelli then had a DNF, and I thought, actually, we might be screwed here. I actually think Verstappen will walk away with this championship now. Little did I know in the background that Tsunoda, on his way to a win, was going to actually be able to get himself back into the title fight. I just didn't do the maths at all, and I didn't think the maths was possible for him to be here. But that's why you never say never in Formula 1, and especially on the F1 game in a career mode series. As we come in now to the final race, and we are going to swap back over to Andrea Kimi Antonelli. He just had a DNF. He's 4th in the championship now. We have got it all to do, but it's all to play for. There are only 3 points separating the top 4 drivers. Let's get into it.
Welcome to qualifying. It is time to have some laps at the limit in Abu Dhabi.
We've had a fair few title deciders in our time at Yas Marina, but I don't know, the palms are sweating just a little bit more going into this one, just because I'm still reeling from the shock that Yuki Tsunoda in a Williams Porsche is the one that leads the Drivers' Championship. I completely wrote him off. I completely did, and I'm sure many of you did as well. It was a real shock at the end of that race, and so many things had to go certain ways for it to get this ending. Antonelli's engine failure being one of them. So unfortunate, having that failure whilst under a safety car. But we're here now. One more race to go, and we are back in the shoes of our Italian stallion, and we've got to try and maximize everything for his sake, because we've had a rough time with Antonelli in the last 2 episodes. Brazil, we gained big in the sprint, lost it all, and then the engine failure comes. It feels like there was a version of this season where we wrapped this up early for Antonelli even, or at least this would have been a cakewalk. But now we've got to dig deep. Now he is P4. He is the lowest driver in this entire equation. That's crazy. But we just try and maximize everything we can with this car. That is feeling great around Yas Marina. We go top in Q2, but Verstappen's there. Piastri as well. And Tsunoda just makes it in. It's only a P8, but obviously he might be keeping his best stuff for Q3. The top 10 shootout, that's all matters. That's all that matters. Unlike last season, where there was a bit of a mess in qualifying in our title fight versus Lando Norris, this is a clean slate into the top 10 shootout. All 4 of us are here. This is it for the final time to set the grid. And maybe that pressure just got to me a little bit, as it did in Brazil, because we go wide and we get caught on the curb. It really sends us wide, and you saw the amount of understeer we had to deal with into that hairpin. So overall, still a somewhat clean lap, but we definitely lost at least 2/10, I would say, on that first flying lap, just in that corner alone. Pierre Gasly and Colapinto going quick. Tsunoda and Aaron, though, look at the 2 Williams Porsches. When it really matters, Mercedes, they come in with the 4-5. We're down to 6th place. We're ahead of Verstappen, though. Verstappen's not had the cleanest first lap, so he's going to go better. We have as well. I don't know where Piastri is. Dare I say, could he be higher than Tsunoda? That would be quite interesting for Oscar to be right up there as well. You can see I'm staying away from that curb. We've actually broken a little bit earlier, and we've tucked in, and we've got the exit now. And you can see there, we've gained up to 4/10 now. Half a second maybe, washing a little bit of the speed through into Sector 3, but still carrying this speed. Verstappen has gone better, but he's only gone P5. So that is maybe him taken out a little bit as an immediate threat at the sharp end. But Tsunoda's clearly gone quicker. Piastri's not. I was wrong. Piastri's down in P9. He's had a horrendous Q3. So it's just on us to combat Tsunoda crossing the line. 6/10 gained, and it's gonna be for the final race, pole position. It's been a surprising season where we've actually showed some really good quali pace at times, surprisingly, in this car, and this is another surprise because I didn't feel like that lap felt insane, but I think we just made up for the mistakes that we had in the opening lap and just kept it a bit tidier everywhere, tighten up the lines in Sector 3, and it's bloody close though. 0.019, and Gasly would have been on pole. The two Red Bulls are looking strong. A Ferrari's up there, but thankfully the nearest rival, championship rival, is P5. Then it's Verstappen P6 and Piastri P9. He's going to have to make up for it a little bit, but that is big for us. But this also might indicate that, annoyingly, Red Bull, Ferrari, not title contenders, they might be in the middle of this fight, which makes you nervous sometimes because they've got nothing to lose. We have everything to lose. Let's go to Sunday.
Welcome to the Yas Marina circuit for the finale of another thrilling Formula One season. It's been a breathtaking year, and we end it at a track that has been the scene of many glories and heartbreaks over its history. It's time to end the season in style. It's time for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. A fantastic effort from Andrea Kimi Antonelli puts him on pole position, and it's Pierre Gasly in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Colapinto, Albon, Yuki Tsunoda, and Verstappen, Aaron Bortoletto, Piastri and Liam Lawson, Martins, Pepe Marti, Esteban Ocon and O'Sullivan, Maloney, Norris, Carlos Sainz, Taylor Barnard, Doohan, Stroll, Crawford and Nikola Zolov completes the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes, delighted to say joining us for this intriguing race is Anthony Davidson. Right, here we go then. The World Constructors' Championship could be settled today. It's about prize money, it's about pride, and it's about all that hard work being realised, isn't it?
And you got that responsibility as a driver. You're the one sitting in the car, and you feel that immense pressure from those 500 or 1,000 people, depending on which team it is, working for you and your teammate to get the job done and bring those valuable points home. You're going to be celebrating with your team tonight if you get it right.
Okay, radio check, radio check.
Yeah, radio's good.
Right, this championship is still alive and there's still a chance we can win it. So get out there and bring the title home. Come on!
You can always count on Mark for some encouragement in the final race. He seems pretty revved up as we prepare to rev up for the formation lap. One final time in Season 5. Oh, well, we've set ourselves up well. P1, Tsunoda P5, Verstappen P6, I think it is, and Piastri P9. But we've got two very quick Red Bulls, which I don't like the look of. And Abu Dhabi, anything can truly happen. I'm still sore from last season where we lost out to Lando Norris with Leclerc and Tramnitz. That seems like a lifetime ago. My God, in that season finale. So I feel like we've got to make up for it. We've won the Constructors for a third season in a row. But we are trying to secure a driver's title back into the HQ trophy cabinet of Aarava Archer Racing. partnered with Jaguar for this season. It was looking like it was all set up for a mathematical three-way title fight. Really felt like a two-way title fight, and in the end we've actually got a four-way title fight with only 3 points in it. Here we go then, for one last time this season. We go to 5 red lights and we are underway for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It's a real slow getaway. Gasly gets us on the left, Colapinto on the right. The 2 Red Bulls have stormed through into the lead. 1 and 2, Tsunoda is on the outside. He's overtaken Albon. He's had a nip at us. We've managed to stay ahead in P3, but Tsunoda immediately on it. Boyd from the win in Vegas, leading the championship, and he wants this one. We lose the back end. Tsunoda on the back of us. What's gone wrong with this car on the rear end? There seems to be no grip on heavy fuel right now around Yas Marina as the sun comes down on this race and the season. Tsunoda's on the inside. We give him the room, and we're just going to manage to stay ahead, but we've had to work really hard just to maintain P3. That was probably one of the worst starts we've had all season. It's a big crash behind. It's Taylor Barnard in the Audi. He is out, and that is going to be a VSC to red flag, actually. Red flag on lap 1. That's certainly going to throw a spanner in the works, maybe, potentially, with how we go with the tyre choices. I mean, to be fair, maybe not. It might be a simple choice of just going on another set of medium tyres. I suspect this will be the only second medium we've got available left for the Grand Prix, and we'll go on to that and still look to go onto the hard tyres. So it's still maybe quite straightforward, but we're going to have to see, can we make up for that first start? We've almost got a chance to do a bit of a redo here because that was an awful start off pole position. Can we get a better one this time out as we go to a second set of 5 red lights now from P3? And worryingly, remember, Tsunoda is now alongside us on the second row as we go to lights out again. Gasly gets a really good getaway. We're slow. Colapinto's slow. The right-hand side of this grid is awful, it seems, for the race start as we just about managed to stay ahead of Tsunoda. Yellow flags again. Is there another crash behind? Oh, it's a car going slowly. Honda. Oh, there's a massive one. There's a huge collision between a Cadillac and the other Audi. And this time, it won't be a red flag. It will just be a safety car. But there was actually a separate retirement going on from one of the Honda cars. I think Liam Lawson it was, retiring out of the race, yeah, with just an engine issue. And then separately, the Audi and Cadillac had a crash. This is Lawson. He had actually had a brilliant start. He got 2 overtakes done, and then his engine said, I've seen enough. That was enough work for me today and for the rest of the season, and the Honda has failed him in the back of that car. And then that was just its own separate incident between the Audi and the Cadillac. That's a bit of a shame because Audi actually had a very good race last time out, and we're probably looking to end the season strong, but they've ended it with a 2 DNF situation. And this is a replay of Verstappen. What are we looking for here? So Verstappen gets an overtake done, so he's directly behind us. Oh no, oh, that's big. That's big for the title fight. Verstappen gets an overtake done, but then breaks his front wing on the rear end of Tsunoda. Once again, like in Vegas, Verstappen is going to be limping now as we get ready to go green flag racing on lap 5. Safety cars in this lap. Verstappen with front wing damage. Piastri has remained in P9, so he's had a bit of a difficult and slow start to this race. Hasn't really got going. Hopefully he can do, but is that Verstappen now with one hand behind his back? Is he going to be struggling like he was in Vegas? That's big. That could just potentially make this a 2-way fight on track here. Antonelli versus Tsunoda, unless Piastri wants to buck up. But Verstappen, he's not going to sort that until the first round of pit stops and a front wing change. Is Gasly slow on the restart? We try and go the long way around. We understeer completely off circuit though with the dirty air, and just also still there's just a weird lack of grip right now with this car on the heavy fuel. I don't know what it is, but it's certainly not feeling as great as it did in quali. Is Gasly gets the elbow out, and now Tsunoda's hit us. Tsunoda's tapped us on the rear end. That's a little bit cheeky. Tsunoda with a little bit of contact to get alongside us. It's 3 wide as Albon either side start to get in the middle of this fight. He's on the left, Tsunoda in the middle. We're going to brake quite early, try and tuck in because I am not getting into a collision. Just like that, Tsunoda hits Albon. Is that going to be any bit of damage? I'm kind of hoping so for our sake, but I don't think so. But you just can never be too careful with those sort of bits of contact. It's still 3 wide, I think. I think the Ferrari's on the outside. Tsunoda is still there somewhere in the mirrors, I can see. We've just managed to hold on, but we've only now got up to P4, and the problem is here, there's already now a 2.3 second gap to the 2 Red Bulls. That's a problem because if you do the maths, we were 3 points behind Tsunoda in P4 in the standings. Right now, P4 to P5, that is not enough to secure the championship for Antonelli. You know, P4, you get 12 points. P5, it's 10 points. That's only a 2-point gain. I have to get Albon, but even then, it's a little bit precarious because one overtake and Tsunoda can be back in it. So this is not ideal. You know, really, we wanted to be fighting for the win because that's 7 points over second, and that's a slam dunk. But now we've got all this maths to do in the middle of the race. We get Albon, yes, but Tsunoda, you know, could come back at us in this race, and Albon is going to come back at us in this race, and he re-overtakes this. What did I say? Ferrari and the 2 Red Bulls. Them being here is making this race more complicated because not only am I struggling to fully get past Albon here, I've got to worry about cars behind being near enough to still ruin the championship. Right now, Aaron, he actually overtook Tsunoda, you may have seen there, on the timing ladder. He's actually helping us out because, as we get a bit wide though, we get on the curb. The same curb that locked us up in Q3 has now invited Aaron in. And Aaron, I was going to say, was helping us by overtaking Tsunoda, but now he's overtaken us. And once again, Tsunoda would be pretty happy just being here 1 position behind us. We're going to try and overtake Aaron, and Marty is actually maybe doing us a solid. And oh my God! What? Oh my days, we nearly crashed into the wall, slowing it down. What have I just seen? What have I... Oh yeah, of course there's another red flag. FIA, I'm surprised you took that long. What did we just... Honestly, some of the crashes this season have been biblical. They have been biblical. What was this? Oh my... Oh God. Bortoletto. It's still the Honda. Honda have had a nightmare end to the season. He got launched. What's going on? I think it's the tyres, you know, the tyre tethers. They're just catapulting these cars up in the air this season. Maybe it's also that, you know, they're all maxed out cars. Maybe that's something. Maybe there's some extra lift coefficient going on and lifting them up into the air. It's a massive crash that's actually taken out a Cadillac, I think, and obviously slowed down 3 cars. So obviously that is why a red flag's called out. And now from this point, I think it makes sense to switch to the fresh hard tyre because that then opens up the opportunity to maybe go to the end. We've had great tyre wear with this Jaguar car this season. Let's give ourselves that option, but it's also still looking like the game thinks we need to make 1 stop still in this race. At least this gives us options as we go to lights out. For the 3rd time tonight in Abu Dhabi, it's lights out and we have got some work to do. We need to overtake Aaron. We need to overtake cars ahead. At least the Red Bulls are now closer. Maybe this little chance of going for the elusive race win to just solidify a championship win because it just is getting me a bit too on edge having to do the mental maths in the middle of this race. As Tsunoda launches it at the hairpin on the inside. He's ahead. What is this? We're on the hard tyre, remember? So maybe it's just that. They're all a medium, surprisingly. So we're the only one, I think, that's gone hard. So maybe that's just why he's got that extra bit of grip. But I don't know. I don't know if the pressure's getting to me here. It feels like these guys are absolutely on it. And we're still warming up in this race completely and getting into a rhythm. I don't feel like we've got into a rhythm. Of course we haven't. 2 red flags, a safety car. It's hard to get into the zone here, but we are going to try and re-overtake Tsunoda. But it's another mistake. You saw we skated on the curb, but it doesn't matter. Oh, beautiful pass we somehow actually managed to find the grip there for the switchback from right to left to get underneath Tsunoda's racing line, even despite going wide on the curb. And also, if you've seen, though, on the timing ladder, look at Piastri. He's now all of a sudden within the frame. Verstappen, not so much. He's down in P10. Remember, though, the red flag, the most recent red flag, has just given Verstappen a lifeline because he's been able to change his front wing. But McLaren just don't seem to have that much pace around Yas Marina, it would seem. Tsunoda and Williams definitely do. With that Porsche engine in the back, we left them from last season to this one, and that's what makes this fight even the more personal. It's our old engine supplier that we're going up against to try and secure this title for Antonelli here. We'll try our hardest for him, and obviously Piastri, I hope he can still get in the fight here, and he's actually there, or thereabouts. He's P7, he's within 1 second of Tsunoda, so that's still to play for, I feel. But the two Red Bulls, again, getting away from third place at least, and Albon still within, maybe range. So I'm hoping that we could attack Albon and still be in a frame for a podium, but it looks like the two Red Bulls are in a world of their own. They are absolutely cooking in this last race to just be on their own, it would seem, as we are on the back of Albon, and him and Aaron having a little bit of a flick of the rear end. Are the medium tyres starting to feel a bit second-hand? We've got DRS and using plenty of battery to get past the Ferrari up into P4. That puts a car in between us and Tsunoda. If it ended like this, we would win the championship with Antonelli, but the problem is Tsunoda now is going to be right there and looking to overtake Albon. The problem with this 3-point gap and not being anywhere near P1, every time we overtake a car and put a car in between ourselves and Tsunoda, all Tsunoda has to do is overtake that car and he's back in the championship frame and he's going to win it. We need more of a buffer. We need more of a buffer because I can't rely on the car behind us still being there holding up Tsunoda just like that. Lap 17 and Tsunoda overtakes Albon, and once again Tsunoda is in the driving seat. We now must chase after Aaron to overtake him as we see the two Red Bulls. I mean, they're ending the season how they started. Who remembers Australia? Those two are fighting this hard around Melbourne, and here they are, last race of the season, fighting hammer and tong, Gasly and Colapinto. And this matters for the constructors, to be fair. We may have won it, but second place is still on the line, the constructors, between Red Bull, Williams and Ferrari. And with this 1-2, Red Bull could be doing a bit of a smash and grab because it hasn't felt like they've been that great all season. Williams and Ferrari definitely have felt like they've deserved to be P2, but this could be a really last-minute surge for Red Bull into the second place frame, as now on lap 18 Gasly is in off those mediums, confirming these guys are all planning one more pit stop. And to be honest, looking at that tyre wear just then on the heads-up display, I think we definitely have to come in. I think it would be too silly to just go to the end on these hards. We'd be a sitting duck at the end of the race, so I'm not going to play it too much of a gamble. We don't need to be fair, as we might just get a double overtake done here on Colapinto and Aaron, as those two fight so much and opens up the door. Aaron, though, very defensive. We go from left to right. Oh, nearly made contact with Paul Aaron. Not for the first time. It would be a bit of contact with the Williams Porsche cars. Both of them have been in the wars with us, and at multiple different stages of the season we've tripped over each of them. It was Monaco with Tsunoda, Aaron in Zandvoort reverse, but we just managed to drift our way through with 10 laps to go into the lead of this race. But it's going to be short-lived because those two come in behind. We carry on for now, but we will be coming in on this next lap. But we're doing well to stretch this tyre, and this is quite poetic. Antonelli P1, Tsunoda P2 on track. I really hope that is a bit of symbolism of how this championship could end. We'll see. Where are Piastri and Verstappen, though? We haven't seen too much of them. They have been a bit quiet, to be honest, lacking a little bit of overall race pace, those two, and they're still behind Aaron. They're still behind Albon, despite the earlier pit stop for Piastri and Verstappen. So still not really in it which is a little bit disappointing, but you can't control everything. In an ideal world, it'd be awesome to have all 4 of us fighting, but Piastri's in the same car as us, and he's just nowhere near where maybe we were able to get him driving as him. And then Verstappen, I mean, to be honest, he's had a very messy race. He already had a bit of front wing damage, and honestly, it might just be a case of maybe his AI has lost focus. With those crashes, with Brazil, with the way the sprint went, maybe he just lost focus, and that's why he crashed in Vegas, why he crashed now in this race. Maybe that's just it, because you sometimes forget that that is a mechanic in the game. The AI have this focus stat, and if they have a couple of bad races, that focus stat goes down, and they don't reach their potential of their overall rating. So that may just be it in this, last stage of this season, is we are now coming out. Where are we going to be? It's going to be mighty fine as Colapinto just gets ahead. I was hoping we can maybe jump on the Red Bulls, but instead we have to go defensive on cold, medium tyres. Aaron is there on warmed up hards. He's on the outside, and now Albon is going to have a chance to attack us, but we've also got DRS immediately on Aaron. So we pull out to the left-hand side. Aaron squeezing us, and with Tsunoda down in P6, you feel like Aaron is purposefully being over-aggressive here to help out his teammate as he vaults the curb. He pushes us off circuit, and all of a sudden Tsunoda's here. We're off circuit, spinning our tyres, and Tsunoda comes in for 1, 2. Don't tell me he makes it 3 overtakes. Thank God Albon comes in and actually saves us there as he repasses Yuki and goes for the move on Aaron. Aaron is doing God's work for Tsunoda there. He's being a great teammate, very over-aggressive, knowing that I can't take any risks. I couldn't commit on the outside as he vaulted that curb, because otherwise we would have had front wing damage. So we had to take evasive action, but we went off on the rumble strip. It was slippery, and Tsunoda now, he's up to P4. So we have to overtake the Ferrari. Unless the Ferrari is going to repass Tsunoda. He is. Okay, thank God. Albon being quick might be actually a help here, at least right now, but it's still frustrating to have all these different obstacles, and he didn't actually get Tsunoda there. I thought he was, so we have to get Albon here as we go aggressively over the curb and absolutely send it, drift it through the right-hander and through the left-hander. Oh, we got it all out of shape. Now we've got some time to find. This certainly hasn't been the finest hour for our car today in race conditions. I don't know what it has been today, but it just hasn't been as planted as we've wanted it to be, and we're still wrestling the car. But saying that, we're actually trading purple lap times with Tsunoda. So both championship protagonists head down and going for it in this final stage of this race. 5 laps to go. You feel like Piastri and Verstappen are out of it. I mean, Piastri's only just down the road. He's overtaken Albon. So could Piastri play a factor in this? I think Verstappen's there also on the minimap. But right now, we're looking to pass Aaron and Tsunoda in one go. It's going to be 3 wide. That is insane. Me and Aaron either side of Tsunoda. And how on earth has Aaron got the speed there on the outside of that left-hander? We were using battery. Now Aaron's brake checked us. Honestly, he is being the best teammate he can be, pushing us, brake testing us, everything under the sun to help Tsunoda here as we go down the inside again. This time I'm going deep. I'm not having him vaulting that curb, but annoyingly I forgot. Going deep like that and holding up Aaron, we don't need that. It's a weird thing. I need to overtake Aaron here, but I need him to be there in between me and Tsunoda. Because if Tsunoda gets him, then once again Tsunoda has a chance to win this championship. And again there, I was aggressive and we pushed Aaron wide. And now I've got my hands on the top of my head watching this because Aaron nearly lost 4th place. If Tsunoda gets that 4th, it's over. We need to slow them down. That's what I'm doing right now. I've made my decision. I'm seeing Piastri behind us on the minimap. I need to deploy a bit of a tactical drive here. I need to back us in to Piastri. Piastri probably can't win this championship with the pace he's got. But you know what? He can apply some pressure and he can maybe help us as Antonelli win this one. So I'm going to try my best. Every time we get to Sector 3, I will try and back us up a bit and do what Perez and Hamilton have done in the past around Abu Dhabi is, oh my God, both Williams are side by side with me. And oh no, Tsunoda is up into P4. Now I really do need to back Tsunoda into Aaron at least. But there's Piastri. Look at him go. Piastri's there in the camera shot. For the first time, Piastri will be within DRS of the Williams cars. Okay, remain calm. We just need to slow it up here in this sector. Just take our foot off the gas. It's going to feel a lot like Hamilton did in 2016, Checo in 2021, and just slow it up, back them into Piastri. We're doing nothing untoward. They can overtake me if they want, but we're making our car as wide as possible and doing our best without being a bit too funny in pushing someone off track. We're going to stop ourselves from doing that. I won't cross that line, but I have all the right to let off the gas, and if they want to try and overtake me, they can, but they're finding it tricky because they can't put a foot wrong. If they put a foot wrong, they might get damaged, and that's their race over. But in sectors 1 and 2, I have to go quick. I have to go full flat here because otherwise they'll overtake me, and they might do right here as Tsunoda is on the outside. We go defensive into that hairpin. I'm really worried about both Williams looking for the pass here. That's my big worry here. But Aaron actually might go for a move on Tsunoda. Piastri, please, I beg you. Piastri, make a move here. He's trying it. Aaron, though, he's ahead of Tsunoda. Piastri goes through on the outside. Oscar Piastri, he might be out of this title fight. But he's going to be a big team player. He's overtaken Tsunoda. He's held him up a treat. And that's enough. This might be enough for us in this race. Tsunoda, he may repass him, but maybe the damage is done. Because now Aaron is here in P4. That's fine. Tsunoda's got nearly a 1 second gap to his teammate. And there's only 1 lap to go coming up. All I need to do now is make sure that I finish ahead of Aaron at the end of this race and hope that, well, Tsunoda's within 6/10 now. I just hope Tsunoda doesn't close up. Piastri may have done enough. He may have held up Tsunoda just enough to stop him coming through. But here comes Aaron. We need to be very careful. I cannot get damage here. And also, if I repass Aaron, I have to do it in a way that doesn't slow him up because Tsunoda cannot overtake him. That cannot happen for us to win the championship. Here we go. This is going to have to be a very delicate overtake, a very calculated one. On the inside, really aggressive, hugging the line, not giving Aaron too much dirty air, and we're through into P3. Now, if this was real life, you feel like Aaron might wave Tsunoda by, but it's the F1 game. There's no mechanic like that. Unless a miracle happens for the AI, Tsunoda will not pass Aaron here, I don't think. And there's a monumental battle happening behind between Verstappen and Piastri. It's kind of nice, all 4 of us being close together in the last sector. But unlike last season, we've done enough. We've come through for a 10th win.
Yes! Yes! We've done it! You are the world champion! Oh, what a win! What a season! We are going to celebrate hard tonight, my friends. Bring the car home. Nice one.
Thanks,
And
everyone.
with that, another year of Formula One draws to a
good weekend.
close, and a
Thank you,
new
everyone.
World Drivers' Champion is declared. Another entry added to that prestigious list of the sport's most incredible drivers.
There you have it. There you have it. We have made Andrea Kimi Antonelli a world champion. The prophecy of the next quote-unquote Verstappen has landed here in the F1 game. Antonelli is the champion, and looking at the standings, yeah, that one position stood between Tsunoda and the championship, but we've just held him off. Only just. Guys, if you've enjoyed this episode, nay, this entire season, then be sure to hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula content. A fantastic way to start the year of 2026. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.